Hi, I'm Keith Schaeffer. We sit here in Vancouver, in one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and we're in one of the luckiest places in the world. We enjoy prosperity, peace, abundance everywhere, except in one place in our lives that we've noticed in the last 15, 20 years, and that's in the quality of our relationships. We don't get along with people near as well as we used to. And this is actually a trend that's been going on for a long time, and it's actually almost in direct opposites to the amount of prosperity that we're experiencing. The more money and abundance and prosperity in our lives, the less we're getting along with each other. And we're seeing that not just in Vancouver, but everywhere in the Western world. And believe it or not, there's actually one very, very simple technique that we've all been taught in the business world, but we don't seem to use in our personal relationships to increase the quality of relationships. But before I tell you what that is, I just want to give you a couple examples of things that I've noticed in my own life. I remember being down in the United States in the southern US a couple of years ago doing a rural trip in Mississippi, in Louisiana. And for the first time, I got to hear partisan radio on the US airwaves. And it was shocking. We don't have anything like that in Canada, where people are slagging each other, the president. There is no respect for authority anywhere. It was just a mudslinging, verbal jousting that was just stunning to listen to as somebody who's not part of that culture. But we have the same thing here in Canada. There is a tiredness in the relationship between the English and French. In other places in the world, we've seen much greater increased hostility between the two major Muslim factions in the world. Everywhere in the world, we're seeing a bit of a breakdown in relationships, despite the fact that all of us have never had it so good. And to me, that's strange. Now, I know we still have poor people in the world, but there's nobody in today's society who would take their station where they are now to that same station 100 years ago. Nobody. And so the proliferation of abundance has just gone ballistic. And this should be a wonderful thing for the world. So how can we get along better? And I've just found in my own life the one very simple thing that I do, that I've trained myself to do in an effort to stop this, is in any conversation I'm having, I stop thinking about the topic that we're talking about, and I start listening to the person. And because really, none of us listen anymore to understand. We listen to reply. And so what I try and do in all my conversations is just repeat back to that person after every pause they've made what I heard them say. That's all I do. And you know what that is? That's your first day of training at Xerox Corp. That's all they do is tell the salesman, you don't have to be a genius. You just have to repeat back to them what they said. Acknowledge them and what they've got to say, and the quality of connection in your life will just go through the roof. And that's actually been my experience.